Hey, good morning, everyone. It's the 15th of April, 2021. It's about 10:30 in the morning. We're an hour into traditional market time. And what I like to do is I'd like to take a look at the S&P 500, NASDAQ, Bitcoin. I'm also going to take a look at some EV stocks. I'm going to take a look at XL, GOEV, FSR, NIO, and Tesla. Before we get into any of this, of course, as you all know, this is not financial advice. I'm not your financial advisor. You are responsible for your own trades, managing your own risks, doing your own research. And I'm just giving my opinion on the market. If there's anything in particular you want me to take a look at, if I've got some time, I'll be more than happy to take a look at those. Just throw them in the YouTube chat, and I'll be, again, more than happy to take a peek and see what we've got going on. All right, so first off, let's take a look at the S&P. All right, so we're extending a little bit further than I expected. We took a short on the S&P yesterday. It's about right here in this general area. Let me just go ahead and zoom in a little bit. We took the short right around here. It pushed down. It looked like it was going to continue, but didn't happen. So we're out of that short. I got stopped out. It's just the name of the game sometimes, right? Equity positions are doing pretty good. So all in all, things are looking good. But that one position it didn't work out. But what I have to look at here is we're approaching, and we've passed a couple areas of importance, in my opinion. All right, so let me just kind of zoom out here and get all of this in view. All right, so first off, from the bottom, we counted 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 waves up, and we have this nice A, B, C wave down. Right, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, A, B, C, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This was a nice clean A, B, C, and we expected it to go up from there, and it did. Right, and it did. We had this trade worked out. And so now we're looking to see where we've got some overhead resistance. In my opinion, we're at that overhead resistance right now, which is why I took the short yesterday. With every trade, you have to have an area where you think you're wrong, and I think that I was wrong on that trade, therefore I'm out. I'm out on the trade. That's just the name of the game sometimes. So what I'm trying to determine here, and I'm looking at this structure right here. This looks corrective, which means, probability is we've got a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 into a 1, A, B, C into a 2, which means we should be hitting some significant resistance right now. We should be seeing a rejection right now, and I'm currently not seeing it yet. And I know we're only an hour and 5 minutes into traditional market hours, but we should be seeing a rejection literally right now. We should be seeing that. The reason why I got out of my short that I got in yesterday is because it was for tomorrow's expiration. So I got out of that. There was a point where we were up like 40 or 42% on that trade. And I know some people did take profit, and good job. I was looking for a larger move into expiration tomorrow, but it doesn't look like that's in the cards. It doesn't look like that's going to happen, and that's okay. So we should be seeing a rejection today. We should see signs of weakness today, and we should see movement down today. I do believe that we're finishing this move, and we should be coming all the way back down, down to about 4,100. Maybe even as low as 40.66. Now, when is that going to happen by? Well, taking a look at the time it took for this correction to happen, we went from March 26th all the way through March 30th. So that was, let's see here, 26, 28, 29. So it was about 3 days it took for that correction to take place. So I would expect that this correction won't be done until maybe Tuesday of next week. So this is what I've got going on in my mind, waiting for this rejection to kick in. And as we discussed yesterday, there's also a few more pieces to pay attention to here. Let me just kind of put this into perspective, and I hope that you can see this at least in some way. We've got our top here. We've got a top here, it tagged, and right now we're trying to poke up. Now, if we close the day, let me just kind of zoom in here, right? So we're looking at higher prices. One way or another, we're looking at higher prices. I was looking to scalp this over a couple days. We're looking for higher prices. And so let me zoom in right here, because this is the area that's important. If we can close the day above this, well, our target is going to be sitting here at about 4,300 to 4,325. This area right here is where I'm going to be looking for that wave 5 of wave 3. Then we come down here for wave 4 to retest. Right now we're talking about May. And then we go into wave 5, which again, we're looking for, again, higher prices. This could go as high as about 4,500. And again, that would just be wave 3. And then we've got wave 4, right? So there's a lot of future ahead of us here. A lot of future ahead, and I don't want to work myself too far ahead, which is why every once in a while I'll just move these guys out further, right? Because right now they're near, but you know, don't want to try and predict too much future movement. I really expected there to be this rejection here, but it doesn't look like that's going to happen just quite yet. If we get a rejection, it's probably not going to be too significant. Dips are still for buying, right? So if we get a dip on the S&P, I'm going to be buying more equity. I'm going to be getting some verticals. Still looking for those big moves to the upside after a small pullback. All right, so that's what I'm looking at for the S&P. We're up against some significant resistance right now. One thing that would be concerning to me, if we got up here to this 1236, which is about 4175, if we got up to 4175, 4176, likely there's going to be a rejection there. And if it comes down past 4100, that means we're more than likely coming back all the way down to potentially 3950. Okay, that would be a significant pullback. The only reason why I say that is because that is a corrective target. And we're passing beyond what I have as a potential wave 3 target. This holds more weight to me than this 175. If we get this rejection at that 123.6 at 4175, 4176, that would not be a very good thing. I think we would have significant pullback from there. Let's take a look at NQ. On NASDAQ, we were talking about a move up, which we got. We haven't violated the highs from yesterday, which we have done. We have violated the highs on the S&P, right? But again, I do think that we're going to see a rejection somewhere close. I think maybe we do poke up above, and if we did, let me just put fib on this. All right, let's take a look at some extensions here. All right, so let me put that there's the 1382. Let me get the 1236 on here. Do I have it? I don't. So let me just adjust this. 1236. So the upside target for NASDAQ would be 14,000 to 14,100. Actually, it would be 14,100. Apologies. It would be all the way up here, 14,100 to 14,125. This is now where I actually think more than likely we're going to hit before we see that rejection to come down to our downside target, which has now moved up to 13,700. That's going to be our downside target. So just to make a slight adjustment to this, I do think we probably are going to move our way up there, but then we will likely pull ourselves down. This would be a nice expansion scenario, an expanded flat. Maybe we do only come down to maybe 13,772, but one way or another, you know, we had a good move up, and it's likely going to continue for maybe the day, but sometime today, maybe closer to the end of the day, I do think we're going to get a rejection, and then tomorrow looking to be a red day. Now, we did close yesterday red, which gave me a little bit of a short-term bearish bias, but we're only looking at a couple days of bearishness, in my opinion. I don't think we've got extended amounts of time. I don't think we're looking at months of bearishness. I think we're looking at a short period of time. Let's take a look at Bitcoin, because we've been watching this, and so far, so good. We had a rejection, okay? We had a rejection here at the 618, which leads me to believe we're going to come down here to 60,500, maybe even as far as 60,000 right on the nose. We've been talking about this move down to 60K. It's very possible that that is going to happen. So I'm very interested in shorting this and to scale into longs and out of shorts. So I'm going to be completely out of my short at about 60,500. I'm going to scale into longs all the way down to 60K. This is where I'm going to be looking for the completion of a correction, this corrective target. We've got a nice A, B, I'm going to ignore this huge wick for right now. I'm going to ignore that. But again, A, B off the 618. So we look for the negative 236. And also, if you take a trend-based fib on this, that's going to be this guy right here, right? So we take it from the top, go down here to the bottom, do the pullback. We're going to be taking a look for this guy, and it was almost a perfect 618. Right down here to 60,000. That's our 100% target. So are we going to hit that? I think we probably will. I really think we're going to hit that 60,000 target, and that is where I would be buying. Again, dips are for buying. I think that's where we're going to be buying. On the video, I'm not going to kind of tell my my trade idea for the upside, but I mean, you can see that it's going to go significantly higher, but I do have some profit targets that I'm going to be looking at there. So we're going to continue watching this guy as we have been for months now. We've been watching this, and again, we've been very bullish. End of March, beginning of May, we've been very bullish, and that is not changing. Late March, early April, sorry, I had my months off there. Late March, early April, we've had this on here for a long time that we should be looking. So right here we are, late March, March 25th. We had a bottom, right? We had a bottom. We had waves buy signal here. We had another waves buy signal here, which we longed. We longed at about 55,750. That is closed, but that was a good trade. That was a good trade. Now I'm looking to get a scalp short, but I want to go long closer to 60K. And that's going to be my plan for right now. All right, as I mentioned, I'm going to be taking a look at some EV stocks. Let me take a look at XL. I had a member on the Discord ask for me to take a look at XL and a couple others as well. So let me just go ahead and clear this all off. Do I think XL has further downside to go? It looks pretty disparative right now. You know, you had the $10 floor all the way back here, and now it's currently trading at $6.92, significantly lower. You know, would I get out? It doesn't look good. It doesn't look good. Do we have any kind of bullish divergence on any significant time frames? Let me move over to this chart over here. And yeah, the waves indicator is saying a buy, but waves also said buy here. It spiked and failed. Waves said to buy here. It went up a little bit and failed. Waves said to buy here. It went up a little bit and failed. Waves said to buy here. It went up decent amount, but failed, right? Wave said to buy here, and it went up, and then it failed significantly. And so it just doesn't look good. It doesn't look good. Yes, it will bounce. And yeah, it will go back up to $10, but you could be sitting in this trade for a long, long time. On the hourly, it was in a little bit of a squeeze for a couple hours yesterday, and at the open today, it exited that squeeze with momentum to the downside. Let's take a look at the 2 hour. Let's see if there's any kind of bullish divergence that's worth even mentioning here. We have a significant low right here, and this is a lower low on price and a lower low on the oscillator. That's bearish. Let's take a look at the 4 hour. Do we have anything that's worth talking about here? So we have a significant low, a lower low with a higher low on the oscillator. That is bullish, and it bounced. It got to the low from the previous low, and it failed significantly. And then it went up, it hit that low from the previous low, and then it failed. Not looking good. It looks like on the 4 hour, the momentum is continuing to move to the downside. On the daily, again, we've got this low here. We have a lower low. Eventually, we're going to get to a point where this will bounce, right? And we're getting to that point in the market cycle where people are in despair. People are, you know, I should bring up that chart. You know, people are in despair. People are, you know, basically capitulating. And that's what the market wants you to do. Now, what I'm not trying to say is I'm not trying to say that you should sell right now. What I'm really trying to say is with the market cycle, we're in that capitulation and despondency area where is really the point of maximum financial opportunity. So would I buy this? I would not. It looks too bearish right now. There's no curl right now. The only direction that XL is moving is down, right? The only direction this guy is moving is down. What I need to see this guy do something like this for a week or two to show signs of a bottom, right? Kind of like what it was doing back here. I know this is, what's the word I want to use? This is artificial, right? Because of its SPAC, but this is what I want to see, right? It was moving down, but then it baselined for a couple weeks. Then it exploded, right? I want to see this baseline for a while. Right now, it doesn't look like it's baselining. Let it find the same low for days upon days upon days, especially finding a squeeze on the daily, right? Here we had a squeeze on the daily. It exited red. That was bearish. Like, you know, I took a trade here. It didn't work out. It didn't hit my upside target that I wanted. But back here, again, a little bit of a squeeze. It exited green, and that exploded. That would have been a great trade. All right, let's take a look at some others. GOEV. All right, so this one, at least this one has some basing, right? It's been moving sideways between, you know, $8 and $8.50. At least it's been moving sideways here for the better part of, what, about 2 weeks now. It still doesn't look the greatest, right? Again, we're still, you know, watching here. You got this $10 floor. What the problem that I see happening is a lot of people get into SPACs, and I'm not talking about anybody in particular. I'm just talking in general. People get into SPACs with the notion that there's a $10 floor. Well, once it launches, I don't believe that $10 floor matters anymore, right? Because we fell significantly below, and then we retested $10, and what happened? Well, it failed. We are at least finding some signs of support down here at $8, but I need to see a little bit more basing down here. I need for this to go for at least another couple weeks. Yeah, the momentum does look like it's curling to the upside, but from here we have a dominant pivot low. Let me pull this out here so we can see this a little clearer. Dominant pivot low here, dominant pivot low here, but what happened? It was a lower low on the oscillator. That is bearish. We had, from here, we had a dominant pivot low and a dominant pivot low here. This was a higher low on the oscillator, and it bounced, right? I mean, it didn't take off, but it was a good move. From this to that, what, 50, 60, 70%? That's a significant move, right? I think too many people are looking for the big 500, 1,000% moves, right? That's not how you should be trading. Right now, again, I wouldn't buy GOEV. Let's take a look at Fisker. FSR, Fisker. Ooh, boy. That doesn't look good. All right. Let me just take a look at... I'm going to clear this all off, and we're going to take a look at this. Because this looks corrective. Because what I believe I see here, from this low, I believe I see a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then we had a little bit of basing right here, right? So let's not forget what we were just talking about, basing. That's exactly what happened right there at about 1450. Then it went up again. All right, so let's just count this one as well. From down here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 on the daily. All right. So where did that take us? From down here to this high to this pullback. It did not, and that was down to 1433. It didn't hit that upside target of 100%. Let me get off of log and go into arithmetic. Well, actually, it did hit 100%. If you get off of log scale, it did hit that target at 100%. It almost hit that 123.6. So this looks to me like it's corrective. This looks like an A and a B and then a C. That looks corrective, which means it does look like it wants to go lower. It does look like it wants to go lower. So we've got a nice A, B, C. Let me put this in here. From up here, A, B, C, A, B, C, and then A, B. Well, maybe we're getting close. Let me just measure this. We're going to measure from this high to this low because this is the A or the W, A, B, C to the X, And we should be looking, we're going too low. We're going too low. That target is going to be sitting down here at about $11. I think Fisker does continue to go down, to be honest. Just based on what I see here on the daily, I don't see signs of any kind of bullish divergence. I would say that Fisker does look pretty bad right now. Just being honest. That's what I think I see on Fisker. Let's look at Nio. Nio. Man, I can't believe Doge is at 13 cents. All right. Nio, I did kind of expect this guy to move up a little bit more, but again, yesterday it rolled over, and today continuing the decline. Nio, there's obvious resistance right here. The obvious resistance right there. And then we have this potentially in the works right now, which this looks bearish. A, B, C, D. Maybe we go up for this E. It does look bearish, if I'm being honest. Based on what I see here, it does look like it wants to come down. And I'm on log scale. Go on, I'm sorry, I was on linear. Let me go on log scale. It looks like wave 5, you know, it more than likely is in 1, 2, 3, A, B, C, D, 4, and then we go down. Yeah, down here to $27 is more than likely where Nio is going to go, based on what I'm looking at here. And you know, we've been watching Nio. I got Nio for the first time, I believe it was in December of 2019. It's been a while. It was down at like $2.50, $2.60 or so. But yeah, it looks like it does want to come back down here to about $27 before it does continue moving up. And potentially, wave 5 could still be sitting out there at 150, and this could be the wave 3, and then we're working on that wave 4. Potentially working on that wave 4. It does look like this is a bear flag that we are in the middle of creating right here on Nio, which means it does want to come down a little bit more. I'd be interested to see what happens to Nio at about $27. I'm going to set an alert at $27.64 just so that I can kind of be alerted if and when we get down there. Because yeah, I'm interested in buying Nio down there at 27 if and when it does get there. I'm still bullish on Nio longer term, so I'll be interested to pick it up at about 26. Let's take a look at Tesla. Tesla doesn't look too bad. Yesterday, Tesla was pretty good. You know, we actually hit our wave B target. So I had my wave B target right there, and that hit. So again, just like Nio, I do expect Tesla to pull back a little bit more. I do expect that this is the A, that was the B, and now I think we come back down to wave C. Now, I'm not saying that Tesla is going to come all the way down to like $420. It would be really interesting if it hit 420 by 420, but we'd be hitting circuit breakers if we tried that. I do expect that we are going to see a 5-wave structure down. And the reason why I say that is because on the daily, and let me move to a 4-hour and then I'm going to zoom in. All right, taking a look at this, we've got the high tagged right here. We've got a nice 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then an A, B, C. Looks like it wants to come down. You see we've got right here bearish divergence compared to this high right here. So we have some hidden bearish divergence. On here, again, it also looks like we are seeing some bearishness. It's pulling back. The waves indicator on the 4-hour is showing that it wants to pull back. Let me go to the hourly because this is really what we focus on the most. We do have on the hourly a little bit of bearish divergence. It's not significant, so we could still see a little bit more upside. But it does show that the daily and the 3-hour are showing signs that it wants to go down. Hourly has already been heading down, to be fair. Okay, let's go back to the 4-hour. And again, we should be saying a little 1, 2. I would short that wave 2, go down for the 3, 4, 5. I'm looking for it to, again, come down pretty significantly. I'm on log scale right now. If I go to linear, let me just put this into perspective. It could be that we only come down to maybe 470. It could be that we stop at 570, right? So these are levels that I am interested in watching. If this was the completion of the A and this is the completion of the B, let's just take a look at the other way that we measure our targets. right there. 100% equality would take us right down here to 420. I mean, it takes you to 420, and that is pretty much in alignment with right here, the 236. I mean, can Tesla really go down that low? I really don't feel like it can, but it wouldn't surprise me if it did. It would not surprise me if it did. Let me just say this. If Bitcoin decides to take a nosedive, right? If we're wrong about Bitcoin and Bitcoin decides to take a nosedive, I can almost guarantee you Tesla will too, because Tesla now has Bitcoin on its balance sheet. And we all know what happens to stocks that are tied to Bitcoin. They have pretty wild moves. Tesla has a really high market cap, but that doesn't mean that it can't have wild moves. Big investors are invested in Tesla. And if they know, which they do, that Tesla has Bitcoin on its balance sheet, and then Bitcoin starts to get devalued, you can be sure that those investors are going to limit their exposure. They're going to reduce their exposure. They're going to limit their risk. And what that's going to do is that's going to cause the price of Tesla to go down. So do not be surprised if Tesla also starts to mimic similar moves, not in percentage points, but just in directionality, to mimic similar moves that Bitcoin does. So just keep that in the back of your mind whenever you are investing in a stock that holds Bitcoin on its balance sheet. All right, guys, I'm going to go ahead and end it for now. Oh, sorry. CLSK. Let's take a look. CLSK. All right. Real quick here before we go. CLSK looks okay. Let me zoom out. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 3, A, B, C, 4. Yeah, I mean, it looks like 17 was the low, so I would expect that we've got a nice 1, 2. Let me go down to an hourly here. On the hourly. I would expect it to go up to at least 28. I'm not sure that this is done correcting, actually. I know I just mentioned that it looked like it was, but I'm not quite sure. Let me pull this on here. This low to this high. Yeah, I would say, taking that off of there, that did come down here to the 618 at $17. Yeah, I would say that 17 is going to be the floor. So I would say that it probably does have some merits to upside. Potentially having the 1 here and the 2 here, or a 1 here, A, B, C into the 2, kind of an expanded flat here into the 2. So potentially from right here, a nice little A, B, C, of course on a lower degree here. So taking this off of log and putting it onto linear, I think is going to give us a little bit of a better view. So we've got a nice 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 3, A, B, C, 4. Sorry, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 3, 4, 5, A, B, C. So we're going to take it from this guy, A, B, C here. We hit that 2618. You know what? We hit that 2618 perfectly. And we also hit this 1618 pretty well as well. If I put that 175 on there, I bet that also was a good hit. I don't have the 175 on here. Let me just add this. Yeah, there's your 175. That hit very well. So this potentially could be... This would be extremely bullish if this is the case, by the way. If this is the 1, then you've got the 2, then you've got the 3, A, B, C, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You've got 5 waves up. Let me change the degree on this guy. And then you've got a big A, B, C down here. Basically at that 618. Yeah, 17 is the floor, just in my opinion, because off of that high, you've got a pretty clean A, B, C, A, B, C, A, B, C. That correction looks finished. That correction does look like it's done. And you have... just trying to see what kind of bullish divergence that we might have. There's a little bit of bullish divergence on here as well. You've got some hidden bullish divergence here as well at $20. So I would say as long as it stays above 20, right here, we're going to put our text on here like we usually do. Bullish invalidation right there. Right there at about 20 bucks. As long as it stays above 20, I think it's fine. If you were to buy now, what's your risk exposure? If you were to buy here at 22.40, what is that? About almost 5%? 10%. 10% because we're in the 20s, not the 10s. Yeah. That would be pretty bullish though. I'm not sure that I would pull anything more than like 50% on it, but it does look pretty bullish to me. I think CLSK does look pretty decent. Pretty decent. The Waves doesn't support it. Now, here. Waves supported a buy on CLSK here, right? You see the buy there. The 1 hour, the 3 hour, and the daily were all in oversold at the same time. That was a good buy. Back here, also below $20. That was a good buy signal as well. The daily wasn't quite there, but it was pretty low. But the 1 hour and the 3 hour are both down there. So these two lows were the lows to be buying below $20. I think $20 is probably going to be the floor. That's my bullish area of invalidation. I mean, would I take this trade right now? No, I would try and get it a little bit lower, which I may not get. But your stop loss is still going to be right there around 20 bucks. If you can get it anywhere near $21, you know, you're risking 5-6%, something along those lines. But I think your reward potential is pretty good. You're looking at like 50-60% on that. So good potential there. Good potential. All right. I'm going to go ahead and end it now. It's been fun. Thanks for joining. Thanks for watching. If the video did help you in any way, shape, or form, like, subscribe, share, all that good stuff. If you need access to our Discord, there's a series of links in the video description for you to get access to our free community, access to our insured area, the Insured Plus area where we do advanced options, and also access to our indicator. If you just want access to the indicator, there's a link for that as well. And of course, wherever you are in the world, I hope you're having a good day, good night, and a good evening.